It's time to freak and it's time to scream. Get your cape if you know what I mean. Knuckle dusters and thick skin. Your time is about to begin. Time to begin. Time to begin. Time to begin.
Hello. So Double Dragon was not just a game that pioneered the style, the beat 'em up genre. You know, it gets all this credit for being the grandfather of beat 'em ups. It influenced other games. We know Final Fight was probably the big one that came after Double Dragon and was, geez, an incredible game. And to think that Final Fight only came out a couple of years after Double Dragon, but the graphics alone are incredible. The fighting style, the moves, everything about Final Fight is really impressive, considering it was just a couple of years later after Double Dragon. And when it comes to the music of video games, particularly in the 1980s and early 90s, music is such an important component. Just like in film, you know, you think of films and without their soundtracks, without their scores, and without their classical arrangements, some movies would just be dog shit. And so it's the same for games. And as technology got better and better, the graphics got better, the processing got better, things got faster, game designers were able to do more things, and of course, the same can be said about the music. With video games in the 80s, they only had so much processing power, so when it came to put the music in, they didn't really have a lot left, not to mention that they only had a couple of channels to output the actual music with. So the genius of these composers that were asked to do music, like the music of Ghosts and Goblins and the music of Double Dragon, these composers, they actually over-delivered like most creators do, but they over-delivered in the way that they only had X amount of channels to output their music. And because of these limitations, it actually made these musicians even better, I think. They were thinking outside the box more than just sitting at a piano and composing. They realized they had to do certain things and they had massive limitations. And so they cut corners and they did these incredible little things. I feel like Double Dragon was probably one of the first games that I started noticing the music felt like something you'd see in a film. So when you walk into an arcade and you see a Double Dragon machine and you see the title screen, it would flash gold and the music was bold and brassy and it would attract people over to go, holy shit, look at this game. Double Dragon, 1987, brand new. You put your money in and you play. And the incredible thing about Double Dragon, we know that it had this little introduction and they cart Marion off and then you have to save her. But the music, as soon as the roller door opens up, bang, you hear that music. And the music was just so bombastic. Like it seriously made you just want to get in there and mash those buttons and kick some ass.
Sorry, for my American audience, kick some ass.
And so that last level, right? So you defeat the big green Abobo on the cliff face and you go inside the door.
And that incredible music starts for that last mission.
You've got those walls that pop out and smash you into the spiky pit, of course, and then you have to walk across and you've got those big sort of statues that stab you.
And then there's a man with some dynamite.
And then you go through there, you've got another spiky guy there. And then
There's a man with a knife.
of course, two Abobos smash through the wall and try and kill you.
And you can fall into the spikes.
And then you make your way into that giant room where you fight another Abobo, you fight three green Jeffs, and then a couple of other dudes, a roper and whatever his name is.
And then, if you look up to the right, you can see Willie with the gun. And he's just sort of like watching, you know, the fight. It's incredible. How good is that for 1987? Eventually, Willie, he'll go down the stairs, he'll come out after the three Jeff guys are there, and then he'll indeed try and murder you with his machine gun. Now, while all that is happening, you have my favorite piece of music in the Double Dragon game. You know, it's like... Alright, so let's not do that. Let's actually play it. That, right? It is so cool. And it has this beautiful piece in it where it goes to this F chord, right? That piece of music, I just love that. That's my favorite piece of music from Double Dragon. It is incredible.